Wonderful. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Hope that you guys are having a wonderful, beautiful Sunday, wherever you are in the world. And we can take the disclaimer down. I don't know where to do that. Great. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I'm so excited that you're here. We have a great, we're so excited to be able to hear from Romarishi and Tara about the Siddha Saints, the Siddha Masters. We're so excited to be able to do that. But before we do, I want to check in with some of you guys and see how you're doing. Katie, how are you doing today?
I'm really glad to be here. I'm good. We've had kind of stormy weather, rainy weather, and we have blue skies now. And there's a mallard couple that seems to come to our pool this time every year regularly, and they're here. And it's just so funny to hear them and see them.
The mallard ducks are actually swimming in your pool?
Yeah. Yeah, and the pool sweeper does a really good job cleaning up after them. So, and nobody's swimming in there now.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, how fun. That brings me such joy. I love mallard ducks. So May, I see you on the call. Would you mind unmuting and tell us how you're doing today? Thank you, Katie.
Me?
Yes.
I'm fine. Thank you very much.
So good to see your beautiful shining face. We're so glad that you're here. Do you have is it about the Sunday call that you enjoy?
Oh, I enjoy every one of them. It's very good.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we're so glad that you're here. It's so delightful to have you. I've been in a couple of breakout rooms with you and it's beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Daniel, I see that you're on the call today. Thank you, May. How are you doing today?
Hi, how are you? We have more people here watching because we're watching on TV.
Ah.
Look who is here. Say hi, guys.
Hi. Oh my gosh, you're so great.
And I'm here too.
So good to see you, Grazi. So tell us how are you guys doing today?
Good. Yeah, good. Very good.
Very good. Everybody's good.
Oh, that brings me.
I since yesterday reading the posts and the emails. I'm really excited to be here. I felt this past few weeks that somehow I was with you as well, with the pictures and everything that was shared. It was so amazing to see this journey that you guys went through, and I want to hear all the magic, all the God synchronicities that happened.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you guys are here. So great. Oh, thank you. Wonderful. Well, I had a question for the call to put into the chat, but I think I'm going to change it. Let me, what is it about this call that drew you here? You know, just like what Grazi said, you know, you felt like you were with us and that that this was an important call for you. I'm so sorry I didn't catch all of it because I was so excited. But I know Cornelia's got some great things too. But what is it about this call that just like fascinates you or excites you or you want to hear about the Siddha Saints and the Masters? So would love to hear that in the chat. I don't have any music for dropping us into our head to our heart, but I would like us to just take a minute and especially, you know, I would love for us to send out some love to the world for all the things that are happening. We've had some tragedy that some of our community members have had friends that have been lost in a war zone, and you know, and I've also heard of earthquakes and some other things. Let's just send out love as a community to the world, to our community, and And let's just do that. Let's just take just a couple of minutes. So let's rub our hands together. And the time starts now. Wonderful. The energy that comes from you is so profound. It feels so beautiful to me. Thank you. I trust that this energy will continue to radiate out to the world from our loving hearts. Let's go ahead and rub our hands together again. And just send a blast of love to whomever, to all, to everyone, whoever needs it. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Cornelia, I didn't see Carol on the call quite yet. Do we have some announcements that we want to make?
Well, the only really new announcement is that if you have read the newsletter, is that we have now a date, and actually we had the date, but now we also have the link for us registering for the book launch in the German book launch that hasn't been happened yet in Switzerland. So in Zurich, it will be on Dr. Naram's birthday on the 4th of May. And so that is in the newsletter. And we also have opened now the website where whoever is interested in joining Dr. Clint for the next Nepal trip, which is going to happen in October this year. The date is not quite fixed yet, but it will be in October. And whoever wants to go there, that you can actually now secure your spot. The link is in the newsletter, and I will also post it here in a moment. Apart from that, the 100 days are going really well. We have it, as you probably all know, in 2 languages going on, so Italian and English, and it's really a pleasure to be part of it again. And whoever missed it this time, we will definitely have another one very soon, because we already had questions and requests for another date very soon. So we will looking into that. That's kind of what we have as announcements for this week, as far as I remember. And all the rest. Yeah, the pet book launch will happen in 2 weeks' time during the Sunday call on the 21st of April.
Wonderful. And I didn't see Hope on the call. I know that she was traveling back, so she might not be on the call today, but they had.
We have 2 hands up if you want it. We have Sunil and Shifra's hands up if you want to call on them.
Yes, Sunil.
Hi, good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Sunil. I have joined this meeting for the very first time. I had read the book, Ancient Secrets, over last couple of years. We have been reading, myself, my wife. times, and we gifted to a couple of people when we found it might help them. So I was not aware of this forum till the time like I noticed it yesterday. So firstly, thank you for all the work all of you are doing, and I'm looking forward to become part of your community and look forward to join in the initiatives. And because I'm personally an aspiring author, so I would love to support your initiatives, particularly for publications, whether it is translation by supporting in my language or by helping in the countries where you might like to promote it while you may not have existing distribution channel set up. So just wanted to say this, and today I might not be able to stay for the full call because I didn't plan. It's already 11 p.m., but I wanted to just come in and know each other. And thank you, Jayna and everyone.
Thank you so much for raising your hand and saying hello. We're so glad that you're here. I take it you're in India?
I'm in the Philippines. I'm based out of Philippines, but yes, I'm an Indian by origin. Yeah.
But you're in the Philippines. For some reason, I was thinking time, but you're right. You're earlier than them.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Right.
Oh, well, wonderful. Are you in our WhatsApp chat?
No, I'm not yet.
Okay, great. We'll go ahead and get that posted in the actual Zoom chat so you can connect with us there. We'll connect with you on a day-to-day basis. So
Sure. Yeah.
wonderful.
Thank
So
you.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are so
Thank
glad.
you.
And if you'll put your email or your phone number, either a private message to me, that would be so helpful.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I'll do that right away.
Okay,
I'll do that.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mariana.
I just wanted to say hello because I've been absent for a while. I've been very, very busy. And often I have clients on Sunday and it's a conflict. And I have to again leave at a little before 9 because I have a client coming at 9. But I just felt such joy seeing all your faces, some of whom I met last year. And Sunil, welcome. It's wonderful to have you. And I'm hoping that there'll be a replay of the Romarishi report because I probably will miss it.
Oh my gosh, we're so glad that you're here. You bring such a beautiful joy to the call. We just love it when you're here. So thank you. And I'm glad you've got a beautiful gift of taking care of those clients. So they definitely need you, but we're so glad that you can join us whenever you can. Thank you. Esther.
Yes. Oh, it's so wonderful to see everyone's beautiful faces. And I just wanted to share that tomorrow on the 8th, the eclipse that's happening, whether you're in a place where it's actually overhead or not, it's affecting the whole planet. And I just want to offer a suggestion because it's a very, very rare eclipse and very powerful eclipse in the sign of Aries, which is the sign of springtime, rebirth, resurrection, courage, and Mercury is retrograde. What that also means, and it's in Aries, it's not, retrograde has a bad reputation here because we're so oriented to just going forward, all charging into something. But the gift of the retrograde is it's a wonderful opportunity to go inward. And so what if there's an opportunity for us all now for an inward resurgence of springtime energy, of bringing in the new, letting go. We do the forgiveness marma, which is so powerful, but for whatever it is for you that needs release. And sometimes it's not even a question of something that we have judged as being unsavory, or, we use these terms, positive and negative. Well, the universe has positive and negative, polarities that aren't against each other, but we've created this kind of viewpoint of antagonism. What if we can drop whatever conditioning that we've had that we've outgrown, like we do when we grow and we outgrow the shoes or the pants, and just with the eclipse, Let that be what's released, whatever it is for us as a planetary people, as an earth community, and for us individually. And with this, with the Mercury retrograde, that it's not only about going out, but letting an inward resurgence, an inward, quote, resurrection, renewal, remembrance of who we really are happen. Invitation. Chiron is sandwiched in between the sun and the moon as they come together. Chiron represents the wounds, the process of healing, and also Chiron was the great master teacher. Now, in the Siddha-Veda lineage, the master teacher that we acknowledge Dr. Ram Dass as being so important, but Dr. Gosh, I'm going blank. He's right here on my wall. You know, the name of our great doctor that inspired Dr. Clint.
Doc,
Help me.
Dr. Naram.
Yes,
Dr.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Dr.
Thank
Naram, Dr. Bob Ram
That's
Dustin.
one. Yeah, all the lineage,
And
but Dr.
Jivaka.
Naram is what I was blanking on. It's so important, his teaching, that love is the great teacher. I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you. That's why I come to this community. Not so much for the teachings, although I love them, but for the love. And I feel like this is the inheritance we've received. And during this time that some people have said, it's a 7,000 year opportunity to hop on this wave as surfers for love. So that's what I got to say. The invitation and trying to, there's programs on this. A lot of it's on the internet that are some wonderful things and some, that just like to do the fear thing. But one of the reasons that happens is because it's so powerful and to detour us, to distract us. So just staying our hearts to the beautiful loving, what we know is possible and what we are bringing in, midwifing, birthing through our love. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you for
so
letting me
much,
share.
Esther. Thank you,
May-
Esther. Schiffer,
May
I'm
I
sorry.
say something?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
you
that's
put your hand
okay.
down, so I
Yeah,
didn't. You wanted to
yeah,
talk.
I'm just really glad to be on here. And I come because when I first got here, I was really in a very low place and people just kind of jumped in like angels to help me. And I've just had a lot of experience this past couple weeks with forgiveness. I forgave my father, I forgave my mother, I forgave myself. And I think the thing about love is really important. I think that's what people need because I mean, if I had a wish, it would be that people would understand that the way to solve these conflicts is not to kill each other. And, I just really hate killing. And so I would love to feel that, people, it's not an act of love. And that there's another way. There is definitely another way, that it's not the way to peace and it's not the way to safety. And love is the way to safety, and bridge building is the way to build bridges. Because the people I was taught they weren't good people and they were my enemies, that just has not proven to be the case in my life. Actually, they've turned out to be some of my best friends. So, the people that I'm taught that, we can't get along with these groups and stuff like that. And
Very
I
true.
just, I don't like killing, especially when it's done in my name. And I just feel that there's a better way that's, love for everybody, no matter who they are. And that's it. I feel
Thank you,
blessed, I feel happy. And I'm just glad to see everyone here, because I feel like so many people here, actually live love, don't just talk about it, but actually live it. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And sometimes it's just smiling at someone, because a lot of people don't smile at each other and don't say hello. I mean, and Renee talked about that. And so I think that's really important, to be friendly and welcoming. And, anyway, I got that welcome. So I want to extend it. And to the new people, we love you, we're with you, and we welcome you and look forward to getting to know you.
Awesome. Thank you, Schiffer. So appreciate your words. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and transition into our topic today. I want to know, is Gheeta on the call? Gheeta, are you here? Can you unmute if you are? and say hello?
Yes, I am. I am. Hello, namaste.
Hello, Gheeta. It's so good to see you. I wanted the community to meet you because I know that you have just a very limited time here. So Gheeta is one of the people that was on the trip with us in India. And she was born in India and now lives in the US. But she has such a beautiful, devout heart. It was just so fun to experience the trip with her. So I just wanted, she's going to jump in and talk with us. Is there anything you'd like to say today, this morning, just right off the top of your head?
Really, really happy to be with all of you. It's very, very, welcoming group, I should say. And namaste and pranam to all of you. And yes, it was so happy. The energy that we experienced with the group and Romarishi&Tara ji's guidance, with their guidance, we were able to visit all these great sages and caves, and every cave, every sage, every center or every ashram we visited, we meditated for some time, and meditation was such a wonderful experience in these places. They were all high energy portals. I really loved it. And everything was, everywhere we visited, it was like, I felt like upgrading yourself more and more and more and more, and then going inwards more deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So it was such an amazing experience. So I would definitely ask you, if you get a chance, definitely visit this high energy portals, which Romarishi&Tara ji will be taking you through the memory lanes, and they're the best people who can explain. And we really had a opportunity of listening to their stories, and you will have now. And I'm so excited for you that they're going to share very beautifully all these stories, very authentic. I can't talk enough. It's like so much to explain. I think you're going to experience that shortly. And of course, we did in the interim, nobody knew MC Yogi was at that time. And the yoga festival was so fun. We didn't plan for it. It just happened. And Mahashivratri was, we didn't know, we didn't plan. It just happened. All the coincidences were happening. And I was the one who knew MC Yogi for like past 10 years. We used to perform on his songs. I don't know if you all know about MC Yogi. He's from California. He does all the spiritual songs, upbeat spiritual songs. So it was really great. Like when Clint heard this, he literally manifested MC Yogi for us. So I think you're going to listen to that story, and we have pictures how he manifested, how he and Punam met MC Yogi, and we also met MC Yogi at Kirtan Festival. I used to like his lyrics and all that, but it was really fun the way Clint manifested MC Yogi. But I'm really happy to be here today and, experience all of your energies. And I'll just leave here for you to experience the journey which we did through Romarishi&Tara ji.
Gheeta, so grateful that you were able to make it. Gheeta has a radio show that is today, and so she'll be on her radio show. That's why she's only able to join us for a few moments. But I told her, and I've been telling everyone, when you meet Gheeta, you fall in love with her. Her energy is so sweet and beautiful, and she is the pure love and authenticity. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to have her back on the call again another time shortly. So
sure. You all are. Thank you.
Thank you, Gheeta. So great that you're here. Well, I always seem to forget these days, but I wanted to start out with saying the reason today is April 7th, 2024. And the reason why we come together every Sunday is to be able to discuss the principles and the concepts and stories of this book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, a Western Skeptic, an Eastern Master, and Life's Greatest Secrets. And we have such an incredible community of love. Before I came to Ancient Secrets, I had been studying the great masters. I had had, I really had gone into depth with studying the life of Jesus Christ and the miracles that he performed, as well as, the Himalayan masters and the things that they were doing. When I came across the book in chapter 9, there is a story about the Siddha Saints, and there was a story about a war. And in the war, it was an unusual war. It had time limits. They would come together and go home at certain times. And after everybody would go home for the war during the day, the Siddha Saints would come onto the battlefield and heal the people who were wounded. And they didn't care what side of the war that they were on. They just were in a place of healing and a place of love. And this fascinated me. So I started a search looking for Siddha Saints. I wanted to understand who were the Siddha Saints, what was happening, and I found very little information. And then when Romarishi and Tara came on the call, and they said that they had spent their lifetime studying the Siddha Saints, I was fascinated. And I got off the call a couple of times, and we'd have phone calls with them. I'm like, we've got to get your stories down in a book, because what you have done is so valuable. And so I'm so excited that they had invited me to come on this trip with them so that we could experience the sites and the actual, masters. So Romarishi and Tara, thank you so much for bringing this to me. I wanted to introduce that, but if you guys would come on the call, I'm hoping you're still on the call. Romarishi and Tara they've had some internet issues, so I'm hoping that they're still here. And if they're not, we might have just a slideshow without a lot of.
They are here. They
Yes,
just need to get unmuted.
Oh, great.
Are we,
Can you hear us?
We can hear you.
can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, yes. We live in an extremely remote area, 8 miles up the Rogue River in Oregon, and our internet is spotty. So we're praying that the internet does not fail us on this call. It's a great joy to be here today. And as Jayna just said, Tara and I have spent our entire adult lives studying the lives and teachings of the Siddha Saints. Now, you might wonder, why? Why would we do that? Why would we devote our entire life to this? The reason is, will be clear if I explain what a Siddha is. The word Siddha is a Sanskrit word that refers to individuals who have attained the height of human consciousness. It basically means a perfected being, or one who has perfected their consciousness to the pinnacle of human development. And that's very, very important. If we're going to solve the problems of this world, we need individuals to raise their level of consciousness. And whenever you have to do something that's important, you go to an expert, right? Well, the Siddhas are the experts who succeeded in attaining the pinnacle of human consciousness. So that is why Tara and I have devoted our entire lives to studying these great saints. Now, how did this trip come about? It was rather unusual. We got a phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning about, well, it was in February. 1 in the morning, we're asleep, and the phone rings, and it's a Himalayan master who we know. We've known him for about 10 years. We met him at his cave in the Himalayas about 10 years ago, and we were extremely impressed by him. We felt he was the most enlightened master that we had met in India, living there for 7 years. His name is Paramananda Puri Maharaj. We just call him Maharaj. That is a photo of him when we met him 10 years ago. At that point, he was 125 years old. And his purity and the depth of his love were so impressive to us that we stayed in touch with him for 10 years. And we actually went and saw him several more times. So he called us at 1 a.m. and he said, please come see me soon. Key word, soon, before I take Mahasamadhi. Some of you may be familiar with that word. Some of you may not. Mahasamadhi refers in India to when a great saint consciously leaves their body. They die, they leave their body, but they do it consciously. So as soon as we got this phone call, Tara and I were like, oh my God, we have to go. Now, we weren't planning on going to India, and we only had a few $100s to our name, total life savings. And so this was not really a very appropriate time for us to plan to go off to India. But we knew we had to do it, because if we didn't do it, we'd regret it for the rest of our life. How often in life does a fully enlightened, great Himalayan master call you on the phone and ask you to come see them before they leave the body? That is a photo on the screen right now of when we met him 10 years ago. That was when we said goodbye to him, and he blessed us. So he also said to us at that time that we could return anytime we wanted, and we could meditate in the cave where we met him for 2 weeks. And we thought, wow, this is something we definitely want to do. Well, guess what? It took us 10 years to get back and finally be able to go down to the bottom of that cave, which we did on this trip. So we'll see photos of that later.
Yes.
But this great master, who we call Maharaj, he was the student of Sambari Baba, one of the purest and most famous and enlightened Himalayan masters. Sambari Baba was a true Siddha. Sambari Baba, his name, Sambari means Monday. And he was called Sambari Baba because he would hold a feast. In India, it's called a bandara, a feast to feed the local people. And usually about 2,000 people would come to that feast. But one time, 3,000 people came, and they didn't have food for the extra 1,000 people. And Sambari Baba took the water from the river and he materialized food for 1,000 people. This is a miracle that many saints in India, Siddha Saints, perform, materialization of food. It's like when Jesus fed the multitude with just a few fish and some bread. He materialized food for people. So Sambari Baba materialized from the water he took from the river food for 1,000 people. He was a great Siddha saint. He shunned publicity. He never wanted his photo taken. He never wanted a building. He lived outdoors. He never wanted a building or an ashram built for him. So Sambari Baba was the friend and teacher of the man who called us on the phone that night. And we have the deepest respect for Sambari Baba.
And I
So,
do have a photograph
now-
of somebody's at the very end of the photograph. So we'll show them at the very end.
Sure.
Perfect.
We can explain that at the end. Now, after we received the phone call at 1 a.m, we thought, how are we going to be able to go? We don't have any money, really. And that was a huge obstacle. And for several weeks, we went back and forth. Are we going to be able to go? We have to go. But can we go? I don't know if we can go. Maybe we're not going to be able to go, but we have to go. We went back and forth. And then one day we received a message on Facebook from a woman who we had never met. We had not even chatted with her. And she said, I've developed long COVID and I can't travel back to India like I always used to, but I'd like to help you go meet this great saint. And would it help if I gave you some money? And she said, how much do you need? I said, well, the trip will probably cost $5,000 to $6,000. And she said, well, how about if I gave you $2,500? Would that help? And we said it would definitely help. So she wired us $2,500. This is someone we never met, never even talked to. But out of the kindness of her heart, she helped us. And that was the money that we needed for our airplane tickets. Now, once we had that, we knew, okay, I think we're going. I think we're going to India. Now we have airplane tickets. Then we thought, who can we take with us to share this experience? Because it's going to be a truly great experience. The first person that came to mind was Clint G. Rogers. And the reason was Clint's teacher, Dr. Naram, had a teacher named Baba Ramdas. And Baba Ramdas was 125 years old. And he had a teacher who was 145 years old, or years young, as we like to say. So we felt Clint would really appreciate meeting a living Siddha master who is 135 years old. And we were right. Clint absolutely wanted to go. He was very enthusiastic that he wanted to go meet this Siddha saint. And then we thought, who else can we take? And of course, Clint invited his girlfriend, Punam, and also Jayna. And then the fourth person was Gheeta, who you met at the beginning of this call. Now, we had never met Gheeta. Similar to the woman that sent the $2,500, we had never even chatted with Gheeta earlier, but Gheeta was extremely kind and generous to us when we were living in a tent on Mount Shasta, homeless several years ago. And we felt she was so kind to us, we have to invite her to go on this trip. And we were so incredibly happy that Gheeta went on this trip. She is a gem. She is a jewel. I even said to her, Gheeta, I never had a sister. Will you be my sister for the rest of my life? And I was so happy when she said, yes, I would be happy to.
Wonderful.
So she was the fourth person to go on the trip. And we flew to Bangalore, all of us. And the first day of the trip,
Hey,
we planned to go. Sure.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to say that, in the very beginning, we had been talking about a book, and they are writing a book about the Siddha Saints. And so this is the cover of their book that's going to be coming out, hopefully in June. So that's the target date. And so here we are. Now we're in Bangalore. And just a reminder, we only have about 30 minutes. So
Get rid of that.
Jayna, do we have 30 minutes from now or from when we started?
30 minutes from now.
Okay. So we have a lot to cover. We're going to move through it quickly, but we really want to share this with all of you.
Wonderful.
So this is a photo on the very first day in Bangalore, and we're about to travel by car for 4 hours east of Bangalore into Tamil Nadu to visit this man. Now, he was not the original intention of the trip. The original intention was to meet Maharaj, who's 135. But I said to Clint, if you're going to go all the way to India to meet the 135-year-old master, you really need to meet this man, because this man is the most amazing Siddha who we met living in India for 7 years. And his name is Maha Ananda Siddha. Maha means great, Ananda means bliss, Siddha means perfected one. So he is a great, blissful, perfected one. He used to be incredibly wealthy. He made a fortune growing turmeric in India and exporting it all over the world. He became an extremely wealthy man. He was also the CEO of many companies. At one point, he owned one of the largest software companies in India. And I have to say, he didn't look like that. That's how he looks now. But he was just a typical Indian businessman. Although he wasn't very typical, he spoke 18 languages. He was brilliant and highly successful, but he was also very pious, very religious. And he would donate huge sums of money, millions and millions of rupees, to renovate Shiva temples all over India. And he renovated many. And one night he was feeding the sadhus. That's a custom in India. You derive or you obtain great good karma if you feed the sadhus, people who have devoted their life to knowing God. So he was in the town of Kalahasti, which happens to be Tara and one of our favorite temples in India. He was there. He had fed the sadhus. He was going to bed that night. And what happened? Something extremely rare. Shiva appeared in his bedroom. In other words, he had darshan. The word darshan means to see. He saw Shiva, and Shiva sat on his bed and talked to him. And what did Shiva tell him? Give up everything. Give up all your wealth, your mansions, all the companies that you're CEO of, and go live in a cave in Tamil Nadu, a cave in a mountain. And the mountain was called 𝗬𝗢𝗪𝗪. That photo that you're looking at now was taken by me on the first day that we met him, many, many, many years ago. He's covered in ash because Shiva told him, when he got to that cave, Shiva told him how to live there. He said, don't ever take a bath, only bathe yourself on New Year's Day, April 14th. Cover your body in ash, which the Shaivites, the follower of Shiva, do. Cover your body in ash. Only wear one piece of cloth around your waist and wear that cloth for the entire year. Don't change it for a whole year. Only put a new cloth on April 14th, New Year's Day. That's the day they celebrate New Year's in Tamil Nadu. So that's why he's covered in ash. He's only wearing one piece of cloth around his waist. And when we first met him, when I took that photo, as soon as he saw us, literally, as soon as our image hit his retina, he blurted out, "You're going to take me to America," which of course shocked us. We thought, how are we going to get you on an airplane? You're covered in ash. You only have one piece of cloth around your waist. You're barefoot. How are we going to get you on an airline? He said, oh, don't worry about that. I have friends who own airlines. They've told me they'll fly me anywhere in the world that I want to go. So we've remained friends with him for many, many years. Now, as soon as he arrived at that cave, he began building a temple. And by the way, that photo right there is of him in the cave. That's the cave that Shiva told him to go live in. And when he arrived there, he started building a temple. And that temple is huge, astoundingly huge. That's a photo of it right there. That photo was taken earlier, before it's at the state that it is right now. The temple is 7 stories tall, and it goes around the mountain. And this temple will have a school for the poor people, and it will have a free hospital, and it will also have a marriage hall, because that's a big problem in India. A lot of fathers commit suicide in India because they don't have the money to hold a wedding for their child. So we'll have a free wedding hall and hospital, and also school. Siddhas often conduct social activities to improve the lives of the local people, which is exactly what he is doing. He also makes medicine, herbal medicine, and he doesn't teach anything. He's not a guru. Like, you may be familiar with the word guru. He is not a guru. He doesn't teach anything. He doesn't teach philosophy. He doesn't give mantras. Shiva told him, your job for the rest of your life is to live at this mountain and care for and protect anyone who comes to this mountain. So when you meet him, what he's doing is he's placing his enlightened attention on you so that you will receive what you need in life. So he is a great Siddha saint, and we wanted Clint and the other 3 people who went on the trip to meet him. He's quite extraordinary. And so we climbed the mountain once we got there, and we went all the way to the top, and that's a photo of Tara and me with Clint at the very top of the mountain, where there is a 1,000-year-old Shiva temple. That's the temple in the background. The golden, that's another photo of it. That temple is 1,000 years old, and there's a Shiva lingam inside. And that is a photo of Gheeta, also with us at the very top. And what a joy it was to have Gheeta along with us. Wow. So after going to the top of the mountain, we went down, and that is in the temple, actually. That photo, that's when the priest is doing arati, or offering light, to the Shiva lingam. A Shiva lingam is an oval-shaped stone that represents Shiva. And then we went down and we had darshan of Maha-Ananda Siddha. This is Clint, myself, and Tara with Maha-Ananda Siddha. Words fail me to describe what he is like. I don't mean this in a derogatory sense, but he is like an alien being. If you look at that face, you'll see that he doesn't really bear much of a resemblance to a human being. I don't know what he is. I think actually Shiva transformed him into Shiva. That's what I honestly believe. He is amazing. He's a complete Siddha saint. In Tamil Nadu, they revere 18 Siddhas. There were many, many more in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is the southeastern area of India. There were hundreds or maybe even thousands of siddhas over the ages. Tamil Nadu is known as a land of the siddhas. And he is revered as the 19th Tamil Siddha. This is when I pranammed to him. Tara said, "You have to include this photo because he's smiling."
I would really like to break in here.
He's actually laughing. Yeah.
I just really want to break in here because, you know, before these photographs were taken, there were a lot of ceremonies that we were kind of following him through. And, you know, there were a lot of people. We're in a cave. It's very echoey, and there was a lot. It was kind of chaotic. And, you know, seeing him, there was not a lot of joyful expression. But when he saw Romarishi and Tara, he lit up. He knew them. He was like, so you could just tell that he was so grateful to see him. And that's, we were able to capture this photograph. It was so joyful to be able to see that he was like, oh my gosh, my friend. I mean, that's what it felt like to me. So I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been incredibly kind and generous to us throughout the years. Back when we first met him, our plan was we had already been living in India for 4 years without going back to the States. And now we were going to go back to the States. And our intention was we wanted to teach people all over America what we had learned about the Siddha Saints. And we didn't have a laptop. And we wanted to give a multimedia presentation. So someone told him they want to go back to America and give a multimedia presentation, but they don't have a computer. And he sent someone off who came back with the money for us to buy a laptop, which we actually need right now to finish our book because our laptop died a couple months ago. And so he gave us the money to buy a laptop, and that laptop allowed us to give 600 multimedia presentations for free, never charging a penny, all over America. Tara and I drove coast to coast all over America
and
for
so
several years.
And he was
giving
included in that. He was included in that presentation.
Yes.
So in essence, you did bring
everyone.
him to. So in essence, you did bring him to.
Yeah. So yeah, and we also printed an 8x10 photo of that first photo I showed you with ash all over his face. We printed up hundreds and hundreds of those and gave them for free to anyone who came to the 600 free seminars that we gave. So yes, you were right. We did take him to America. And even to this day, people write us and say, you know that photo you gave me when I saw your presentation in Oklahoma City or wherever? I still have that on my altar. So yes, and some people have some people have powerful, miraculous dreams about him. So he is a great Siddha saint, and we wanted Clint and the other 3 people to meet him because he's so extraordinary. Okay, so moving on. Now, that was on the first day of the trip. And there's some more photos there of Clint giving Mahananda Siddha, Clint's book. I think, Jayna, you can, oh, wow, what is that? I have no idea what that photo is.
I
okay,
think that
there's Clint giving.
I think there's a delay.
Yeah.
I think there's a delay
Clint
with our.
Okay, so there's Clint giving him Clint's book, and you can
This is from the
just
airplane.
move on there.
So this is of the Ganges River from the airplane as we were going to Rishikesh.
Yes. Okay. So then we arrived in Rishikesh, and this is the view from our hotel. Tara and I have stayed in this hotel probably well over 100 nights, because every time we take a pilgrimage, a group to India, we always go to Rishikesh and we stay here. When we were planning the trip, I said to Clint, have you been to Rishikesh? And he said, no, I actually haven't. I said, oh, well, we have to go to Rishikesh. You have to experience Rishikesh. So this is the view from our hotel. And this hotel happens to be in an area of Rishikesh called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is an area where great sages, yogis, sadhus have congregated for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And that earth is sanctified by their presence over centuries. It's the northern edge of Rishikesh. So in that photo, you're actually looking at the Ganga and you're looking north toward the Himalayas. And there is a road on the left-hand side of that river that goes all the way up to the Himalayas, to places like Gangotri, where the Ganga begins, where the river actually flows out of the glacier, and Badrinath and Kedarnath, many sacred places in the Himalayas. So we always stay here at this hotel. We love it, and it has a tremendous amount of energy. Usually when I show this photo, people go, ooh. Okay, moving on.
So this is
Okay, so now we got to Rishikesh. Now we got to Rishikesh, and what you have to realize is everything was organized by love with almost zero intention on our part. We didn't plan to arrive in Rishikesh on 𝗁𝗏𝗡𝗏𝗏, which happens to be the most sacred day in India. We had no idea it was going to be 𝗁𝗏𝗡𝗏𝗏. We arrived, it was Clint's birthday that day, and it was 𝗁𝗏𝗡𝗏𝗏, and the yoga festival was beginning that day. And Smita and Krishna happened to be there. I don't think Clint even knew they were going to be there, and they were there. So there's Krishna and Clint. Everything was organized by love, and it really taught me so clearly. There's Clint's birthday cake that we had for him. It really taught me that when we think we are organizing everything, when we think we're doing it, we aren't doing it. God is doing it. Everything is done by God. And it's a complete fallacy to think we're in control. We're doing all of this. No, we're not doing it. I don't know if any of you saw the movie Doctor Strange. There's a scene at the end of that movie where the great master says to Doctor Strange, it's not about you. It's not about you. So this really taught me, it was a very visceral experience, that all of this was being organized by a power far greater than us, which was love. We just let love guide us. Okay, moving on. So it just so happened another friend was there, and he came to the hotel the first night we were there. His name is Dr. Eden Goldman. He's a professor at USC and the head of the yoga teacher training program at USC. He's a dear friend. We've known him for years, and it was great that he was there too. Okay, moving on. So then on the first day that we were in Rishikesh, we went to go meet this man. And we had to meet him that day because the next day he was going to leave Rishikesh for 2 weeks. So he said, if you want to meet me, you have to do it the first day you're in Rishikesh. And we did. And his name is Swami Sashwat. Now, he's actually relatively young. He's around, I would say, 40 years old. And he is quite amazing. He attained enlightenment at an early age. And he then went high in the mountains outside Rishikesh and lived high up in the mountains for 10 years with no money and no food. No money and no food. And when people later said to him, how did you live up there with no money and no food? What did you eat? He said, I just ate what the animals eat. I observed what plants the animals eat, and I ate the same. And they said, but how could you live up there? There are tigers up in those mountains. And he said, the mother tiger would bring her cubs to me to sleep with me at night. They all slept with me. So he was quite an amazing master. You know, a lot of people have heard of great masters like Sri Ramakrishna, Ramana Maharshi, Shirdi Sai Baba, and they wonder, are there still great enlightened masters of that level living in India today? Or is that just a thing of the past? Well, he is one of those great enlightened masters who's alive today, and we are blessed to be his dear, dear friends.
So Romarishi, we're
Next
just,
slide.
right. We're just about 30 minutes in. So, you know, if we can maybe speed through some of the stories, that would be so great. We don't have much time left.
Sure.
Okay, great.
Okay. So this is our group with him in his meditation hall. He built this building during the pandemic. It was not there when we last visited him in 2009. Next slide. And here's Clint exchanging books with him, Clint giving him Clint's book and him giving Clint his book. Next. Here's Gheeta with him. Everyone in our group absolutely loved meeting him and being with him. He's so pure and so innocent. Okay, now here we are at the International Yoga Festival, and Gheeta spoke earlier in the call about MC Yogi, who's really talented. And here's a photo of Clint and Punam with MC Yogi. His music is really good. It's spiritual, but it's very upbeat, and I think you'd all enjoy it a lot. I highly recommend it.
So at the end of the call, yeah. So at the end of the call, we'll turn off the Facebook Live and we'll let you have a taste of MC Yogi's music.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Yeah, he's quite good. And so, like I said earlier, we didn't plan to arrive at the beginning of the International Yoga Festival. People from all over the world come to this festival, and it's held in Rishikesh every year.
And if
so,
you see,
Jayna, you can just keep clicking through the photos.
If you see in this photo right here is Dr. Smita. She was a speaker and has been a speaker for many years at the International Yoga Festival. So we were able to spend some time with her there.
Yes.
And there's Smita and Krishna. And then here we are. Romarishi's up here. Punam there's Gheeta right there. I'm right there. Clint is right there. Punam's right there. It was just so fun to be in the feel of the International Yoga Festival. And this is me and Gheeta. We stayed for MC Yogi's concert. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Yes. And then the next day we went to Hardwar, a day trip, because we always love visiting Ananda Mai Ma's ashram. She was born in a full state of union with God. She never had a human teacher. She's revered across India. And also Yogananda wrote about her in Autobiography of a Autobiography of a Yogi. He called her the joy-permeated mother. That is inside the temple. That was a photo of her tomb, her samadhi. And here's a photo of Tara sitting. This is where she used to meditate in a large hall. And this is a group photo of our group at Anandamayi Ma's ashram. They're renovating the building right now. And another amazing coincidence, Eden Goldman and his partner happened to be there the same day we were. We also visited the Gorakhnath temple, and the Gorakhnath temple is in Hardwar, and there's a cave underneath the temple. This cave is a place where great masters did their sadhana. That's Gheeta coming up out of the cave, and great masters did their sadhana, and some attained enlightenment in that cave. Here we are meditating. There's Gheeta on the left and Punam to the right. This is our friend Amarnath, Yogi Amarnath. We met him when he was how old, Tara?
Oh, 16 or 17.
16 or 17. And he has blossomed into a great master himself.
22.
He's 22. He took sannyas. He became a sannyasi or a renunciate when he was 6 years old. He's our dear, dear, dear friend. Okay, moving on.
They found him that he was meditating when he was just extremely young. Naturally.
So
moving on.
Romarishi, I've had some requests in the chat privately that they would like you to take your time sharing the stories. So we'll probably have a very long call for those that can stay. Great. For those that cannot, they can jump off and watch the recording or buy the book when it's ready. There you go.
Yes. Now, one of our favorite things to do in India is to visit caves where great masters meditated, lived, and did their sadhana, their spiritual practices. And the reason that not only us, but many people visit these caves is that when a great master has lived, perhaps 40, 50 years in that cave, the very rock is permeated with their vibrations. In other words, the cave becomes sanctified by their vibrations. This is one of our favorite caves. The cave is under that boulder. It's called 𝗬𝗙𝗑𝗲𝗏's cave. And 𝗬𝗙 means silence. So 𝗬𝗙𝗏𝗏 was a great master who didn't speak. And this is Punam on the left, and I believe Gheeta in the middle. And the man on the right is the sadhu who's the caretaker of this cave. This cave has 3 different levels. This is the outer level. The inner level, for many years, I was too fat to be able to go down the narrow corridor. It's extremely narrow. I couldn't squeeze through, but then I lost 50 pounds and I managed finally to be able to wiggle my way down this curved corridor into the second level of the cave. There's also a third level that's even deeper. Tara's been in there. So this is where 𝗬𝗙𝗏𝗏 lived and meditated for many, many, many years. Then after he lived here, he went up to Gangotri, to the glacier where the Ganga begins. And he lived on the glacier for a long time. Okay, moving on.
This
We
was
also visited
We visited,
yeah, so we also visited Vashishta's cave, and that is on the Ganga, on the banks of the Ganga. And there's a cave that's called his wife's cave. This is his wife's cave, I believe.
Cave with a View. It's
Yeah,
got great view.
yeah. He's a very famous Vedic rishi, Vashishta. And here's Punam, and here's a picture of Gheeta enjoying the beauty of the Ganga. And there's Tara also at Vashishta's cave. It's a beautiful spot. Really, really beautiful.
Very pure energy.
Yes. We always visit there when we take a group to India. It's a very popular place. Vashishta's cave. Okay. Here's
So,
MC Yogi performing at the festival.
now, this is at the Kirtan Festival. So after we went to see the cave and we came home, we went to a nearby Kirtan Festival, and we had no idea that MC Yogi was going to be performing there. And as a result, he got to meet our group. So there's a picture of Gheeta, and we got to meet Julie there. Julie was there as well. So we're just those synchronicities that happened. And he actually posted a picture of our group on his Instagram page. So that was really fun that he was sharing it with us. Okay.
Yeah. And Gheeta was and this is Julie Upton. Julie Upton happened to be there. And that was a real joy to get together with her. She's a very devoted practitioner of the ancient secrets. In fact, right now, I think she's in Mumbai at the clinic in Mumbai, the Ayushakti clinic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So she just happened to be there. And that was another great synchronicity.
So we were getting ready to go on the road to another location.
Yes. So now we traveled by bus to Haldwani to go meet Maharaj, who was the purpose of this entire trip. And as you probably remember, he's the one who called us at 1 o'clock in the morning and said, please come soon before I take Mahasamadhi. And so here is Clint presenting him with Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. So he is 135 years old. He speaks perfect English. And we found out on this trip a lot of things about his life that we didn't know before. He actually went to Oxford in his youth, and he graduated from Oxford.
As a medical doctor.
As a medical doctor, and he was a doctor in London for quite some time. And then eventually he renounced the world and he went to the Himalayas and became the student of Sambari Baba, as well as other great masters. He spent 10 years living with Anandamayi Ma, and yeah, he is just amazingly beautiful. He just emanates love. He oozes love. And we really love him. And he was the reason we went on this trip, because he asked us to come soon before he dropped the body. So we went to Haldwani, and which is where he was living at the time. And this is a photo of So that is 𝗵𝗘𝗧𝗧𝗦. If you, I'm sure many of you read Be Here Now by Ram Dass, and Ram Dass met 𝗵𝗘𝗧𝗧𝗦. He lived at a place called 𝗏𝗘𝗡𝗧𝗏, and the group went there. I didn't go. Tara and I didn't go that day because we had become ill, to put it mildly. And so the rest of the group, the other 4 people in the group, went to this place, 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏, which is the ashram of 𝗵𝗘𝗧𝗧𝗏.
And Sambhari Baba had spent much time there doing bandaras and different fire pujas and meditating in a cave there. And 𝗵𝗘𝗧𝗧𝗏, when he was very young, also went there and was with Sambhari Baba. And he eventually, Sambhari died in 1919, and he afterwards, many years afterwards, 𝗵𝗘𝗧𝗏 Baba built this ashram here on that sacred piece of land.
Right, right. Yeah. Very few Westerners have ever heard of Sambhari Baba. They've heard of the big famous gurus like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Ramana Maharshi, Shirdi Sai Baba, Sri Aurobindo. Those are the names that most Westerners have heard of. But almost nobody knows in the West about Sambhari Baba, and yet he is revered throughout the Himalayas as being among the purest and most highly enlightened master. Sambhari Baba. He is worth learning about. There's only one book in English about him. The reason that so few Westerners know about him is he passed away in 1919, and that was before many Westerners were going to India. And also, it was before internet technology. And nowadays, you can learn about any of these great masters on the internet. So very few foreigners know about Sambhari Baba. But Tara and I have the deepest, highest respect for Sambhari Baba. He was a true Siddha saint. Okay, next picture.
I forgot to mention.
So that's Clint, Punam, and Jayna at 𝗵𝗘𝗧𝗧𝗏 Baba's ashram. Now, one of the things that was at the top of our list of priorities on this trip was to visit Sambhari Baba's cave. And we met the man who is now 135. This is him. That was a picture of him. We met him at that cave over 10 years ago, when he was actually 125 years old. And when we were just with him a few weeks ago, I said to him, "What can you tell us about Sambhari Baba?" And he said, "Just go in the cave." It was like all of our questions would be answered if we just went in the cave. And so that was a top priority on this trip, because if you remember at the beginning of this talk, we said that when we first met him 10 years ago, he said we could come back and meditate for 2 weeks in that cave. This is a photo of Tara coming up out of the cave. When you go through that door, there's a steep stairway that goes down. It's very narrow, and it goes down into the rock. And then at the bottom of the rock, of the stairway, there is a shrine to Shiva. And so this was Sambhari Baba's cave. And our friend Maharaj, who's now 135, he inherited this cave when Sambhari Baba left the body. And this is Clint and me at the bottom of the stairway going up to the cave. And Jayna, do you want to describe what's happening here? I don't know if she can hear me.
You're muted, Jayna.
So,
I was just watching, I was waiting for everybody to be done with their beautiful experience. And I was just watching these beautiful women. They were carrying sticks on their head. I don't have the photograph of them walking down the road, but
Oh, yeah.
they were walking to the home next door to this temple, and it happened to be a little dairy that they owned. And when Clint came down, he says, Jayna, do you want to go meet the village people? And I said, can we do that? And he's like, yeah. So he and Punam came over and they were translating a little bit, you know, and communicating with them. And they were so delightful, so full of joy. And the one lady that's in the pink, she came out of the house and she had chai, hot chai for us. And she also brought an apple and some jaggery. It was just an offering to us to say, you know, to say welcome. And we just had a little chat, and it was just so beautiful to be able to experience the love and the joy. What I really noticed with them is that they lived in the flow. There was not much worry. They still had to go out and work in the field to bring grass back to the cows, and they just lived in the flow. It was so beautiful to be able to watch their, you know, be able to see the demeanor and the love that radiated from them just by being. It was so beautiful.
Tara and I missed that beautiful experience because we were down in the cave. But when we came up, we saw Clint and Jayna and Punam with those women who were so beautiful and friendly. So this is the next place we went, and this is called Padampuri. And Sambari Baba lived here. He split his time between the cave and this place. And this place is just a few kilometers down the road.
So one of the things that Punam had said is, she said, I would really like to go to a working ashram. And I really want to see, you know, one of those, because we see a lot of ashrams that are not, they weren't working. And this one was working. So it was really fun to be able to go here.
Yeah. And she said also a working ashram where there's a teacher that we can like sit and talk to. And that was this place. So this is a very important place in the life of Sambari Baba. He used to live here, not in any building. He lived outdoors. He never asked anyone to build a building for him or an ashram. He owned almost nothing. And he was what's called a Naga Baba, a naked Baba. Naga Babas don't wear clothing, and they have transcended bodily awareness. So we went to this place where he used to live, just outdoors, under a tree. And now there's an ashram there, and his samadhi is there. It's where his body is entombed. And so here's Clint receiving a blessing from the man who is currently the head of that ashram and very beloved. This man's name is Atul Baba. He's very, very beloved by the local people. And he's quite old himself. He's, I believe, around 90.
Yeah, and he looks
Here's a photo
so
of
young. Yeah, he looks so young, and he had humor in his life. He was so funny. And Punam and Gheeta, who spoke the language, they would be laughing because of the things that he said. He was so joyful.
Yeah, he really was joyful. And we had a great time basically hanging out with him in that little room there. He doesn't live in that room. That's just like a room I think he has to greet people and meet them. He actually lives in a tiny tent up on the hill. And so then here's a photo of the 4 women in our group, Jayna, Punam, Gheeta, and Tara, with him, sitting by the Dooney. This is just before we left.
It was so wonderful. It didn't
We
want to leave.
absolutely loved meeting him.
It
Yeah,
was wonderful.
right. Everyone talked about how wonderful he was for days. This is on our way out, a photo of the Padampuri. And so this is the bus that we were traveling in. And once we left there, we had to drive 40 kilometers down the mountainside on narrow,
Winding.
very windy roads.
It was essentially one lane.
Yeah.
And
It was about a 1-lane road, dirt road, that went down the mountain for 40 kilometers, and the headlights went out on the bus. And the driver tried to get them turned back on, and he couldn't. He couldn't get the headlights back on. And finally, another little tiny truck stopped, and that man agreed to drive in front of us so our driver could see the road by the other truck's headlights. And so that was a pretty interesting ride.
It was.
And we went all the way down for.
It was so
Yeah,
amazing.
I kept
I could not
kept
believe it.
thinking about Jayna. Yeah,
I was on the
Jayna,
phone. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jayna, I definitely thought about you many times because the previous day, when we were driving on those roads, you said, Romarishi, can you stop telling stories right now so the driver can just concentrate on driving?
Yeah.
Because literally on the edge of the road, a cliff went off like 1,000 feet. So you're driving on these narrow switchback roads, and Jayna thought I was distracting the driver from focusing.
These are the Himalayan mountains. They're Himalayan mountains. They're very steep. And like they said, they're almost 1-lane roads. But it was so wonderful to be able to have this driver, say, hey, I'll just be your headlights. You just follow us and we'll just come down, we'll take you down off the mountain. They were so sweet. The one thing that I really loved about the Indian people is how supportive they are of each other. It's like community. It was just, they were always helping each other out. And it was evident. They really, it was almost like a big family. It was really very interesting to watch and experience. I loved it.
Yes, definitely. So this was at the end of the trip, and then Clint was going to head off to Nepal to join the group who was going to Nepal. And this is where we all went our different ways. Tara and I stayed a little bit longer, and Gheeta had a flight out. So she had to get back to Rishikesh very quickly to catch a flight. And what's the next photo there? I think the next photo may be Sambari Baba.
Yes.
Yes. As I said earlier, he shunned ever being photographed. He didn't want any publicity. Basically, everything he owned is on his back there. That's it. And he didn't want to ever be photographed. So there are only 2 known photographs of him. This is one of them. Yeah. Wow. And this is Maharaj. This is the man who we went to go see before he took Mahasamadhi. This is the most recent photo we have of him that
And
I
he's-
took just before we left.
He's giving us a blessing through this
He
photo.
had,
Yes,
that's a blessing. with
yeah, yeah. He is just an embodiment of love. And yes,
And that's it.
and that's it. We have now reached the conclusion of the presentation, and it was a joy for Tara and me to share this with you because it's the subject that we're most interested in life, the lives of great Siddha saints, and it was a joy for us to share it with Clint, Punam, Jayna, and Gheeta.
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful trip. Does anybody have any questions or do they have anything, any comments or anything that they would like to share with Romarishi and Tara? Getting a lot of love in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Awesome. Felt like I was there. Thank you. Truly amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you, Romarishi, Tara, and Jayna. Wonderful journey. Wish with you all today. Love and blessings. Love and gratitude. Thank you so much. Wonderful. So you're getting a lot of love in the chat. It was a wonderful experience, a wonderful journey. Okay, great. So we've got Melissa.
Sorry, I was trying to type in the chat, but I'm not able to today for some reason. My question was on the journey they were called to see this yogi, and because he was going to be passing soon. Did he pass already? I didn't hear that part of the story. I was just eager to hear that. Did he get to that point where he did pass?
Actually, no.
He actually got healthier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his health actually improved. When he called us, he thought he was on the verge of dying because he had kidney stones and he was in such awful pain.
Oh,
But
wow.
then I don't know if he went to the hospital.
Did
They
some
said
procedure,
the
something they
boy-
did, and
Yes, the boy said that he had them surgically removed and he was much better now.
So, oh, wow. So
Yeah, he didn't seem to be in any pain. He definitely did not seem to be in pain. He
No, and
seemed to be joyful.
when we asked him,
Yeah.
about that, why did you have us come? Why did you call Romarishi? And he laughed because he knew that it was just kidney stones, but it's not just kidney stones. It's kidney stones are very painful. So, but I don't think he's going to be taking,
Yeah.
I say it wrong, samadhi anytime soon.
okay. So I thought he chose it. So I guess he
Yeah.
changed his mind, or just it wasn't. That's interesting. Just the factors leading up to that and what might happen now. Okay, but thank you. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
he
it
had
actually
prepared. Yeah,
it actually turned out that maybe we didn't even really need to go, but we sure are glad that we did go,
yeah.
because any opportunity we have to spend with him is a great blessing.
Yes, and we asked him, well, why did you call us? And he said, love. It's just love. It was his love was calling us.
And then I also added, he loves us and we love him.
Mm.
So love was the reason.
On his wall, he has a picture, a photograph of Romarishi and Tara. It's like a family photo right up there. And on the way to the Himalayas, to the cave, we stopped at one of the little houses that was owned by, I believe it was an uncle, but he would stay there during the summertime sometimes. And the photograph of Romarishi and Tara is on the wall there. I mean, Romarishi and Tara are very well loved by this man. So it was just so grateful. We were so grateful to be with them.
Yeah, we're truly blessed, truly blessed. Every day we're grateful for the association with these great masters. Yeah, and we live to share that with other people. That's, like I said at the very beginning, we feel that if humanity is going to survive, the level of consciousness of humanity has to rise. And the Siddha Saints are the ones who attained the perfection of human consciousness. So they are the experts. They know how to attain the perfection of human consciousness.
I just wanted to show the book again.
And that's a photo of,
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to show
yes,
the
that's
book
the
again.
cover of our book.
Please tell about it.
Yes, that's the cover of our next book, and it's called Wisdom of the Mystic Masters, Siddhas, Saints, and Sages Throughout the Ages. It'll be 400 pages long with about 200 color photos, and it will be the summation of everything Tara and I have learned being on the spiritual path for over 50 years. So we hope to have it done by June 1st in time for the Ashland event, so we can bring copies to Ashland. We have a little
Or on Kindle.
Yeah, we have or on Kindle. Yeah. And we have a little bit of a hiccup in that our computer died, so we don't have a computer to work on right now. So if anyone is able to help us in any way get a new computer, maybe you have we definitely need an Apple PowerBook. If you happen to have an old one in your closet that you don't use, we would be extremely grateful to have a computer so we can finish the book. It's really our legacy. This book is our legacy, and it's a gift to humanity.
Wonderful.
We're
I'm so
writing the
excited.
book. Yeah. Okay. So that's
Shipra,
that.
Shipra, did you have a question? Okay, so she's not answering. So Joseph or Jacob. Jacob.
Hello. Thank you very much. Amazing way to take us through the trip, because it wasn't even just the narration of the trip. It was the way the Romarishi explains everything. I will send you a computer, so get in touch with me, and definitely I can ship it probably tomorrow. And it's so enjoyable, and I so look forward to get as much information of this trip and the knowledge that you accumulate through the years in regards to the Siddhas, because I also have some story on my own with the Siddha lineage since I was probably, I don't know, probably 12 years old, something like that. So yeah, so look forward to getting
Let
touch
us
with
talk
you.
more about that.
And yeah, we will.
Yeah,
will.
definitely.
So
let us continue talking.
Yeah, send me your information through WhatsApp,
we would love.
We can.
I will go ahead and send each other your contact information, so you'll both be able to get in contact with each other. And Jacob, we'd love to hear your stories about your connection with the Siddha Saints or Siddhas. That would be wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, if you want to do it right now, I can do it right now, or we can do it later.
Sure.
No
Would love to hear it. Go ahead right now. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So I'm the only, my mother was left by my father. She was 30-something years old. I have an older sister and a younger sister, so I was the only boy. And usually men or boys are more attached to the mother. So I was with my mother all the time. And she was looking for her spiritual home because in her beliefs, the Catholic way didn't fit her and didn't answer her questions, although she was raised in a Catholic school and so on and so forth. So in one of those events, she was directed to the Siddha Yoga Center in Mexico, which is huge, is big. And
Wow.
I tag along, I tag along with her in all the other different ventures that she went. But turns out that we come from a very different type of lineage ourselves. Many of us channel and my sister channels and see energies physically, and I see energies, but not in a form of a body. Sometimes I do, but it's not often. So it's kind of like that in my family. It's like many of us. It's not unique. It's many of us. I go through that. So I feel that connection, and I start going on my own to this center. And when my mother was not able to go, and at that particular time, it was I think it was the last teachings of Baba Muktananda, and then Guru Mai was the one taking over or doing the trips, because he was already too ill to travel. And she went to Mexico in one of the trips. During the meditations beforehand, during the meditations at the ashram, every time that I sit down and I was going through the chantings, the Om Namah Shivaya, the different chantings, I was like, my body was just shaking, right? It was incredible. And then when she was there and we went to do the darshan, and we locked eyes, when she was doing the salutation to me, you know, I just couldn't stop crying and couldn't stop feeling the love. And I went on and continue going to the ashram, but it wasn't like a full 100% fit to me. So I eventually, and I was becoming a teenager, so I eventually went on to carry on the life. And later on, I mean, I went through my own awakening, because awakening is not just one thing, it's stages, right? So I lose someone that I love. It was a soulmate that I lose her, and then I was trying to find out the answers instead of just going out and partying and saying, hi, I'm single again. I went inside to try to figure things out. And by being there, I was, again, in a very specific diet, doing my meditations. At that time, I was already channeling, and so I was following my guidance. And I started to follow again the San Diego Siddha Yoga Center, because that was my previous connection to an emotional, spiritual experience. And here in San Diego, I went to the center and everything. And then again, it wasn't a complete fit. I was like, yes, but no, you know, there's something missing. And when I find out, it was that it was inside of me, not outside of me. So I continue that path, and that is what propels me to another level. And I've been practicing in a different way for so long. After that, looking for ways to work with people. I'm already a therapist. I was working on the emotional thing. I have several certifications in different modalities, but I was always working with the people, connecting with their energy and bringing their energy to me and transforming the energy inside of me. And I noticed that all the people that I knew that were working like that were dying very young. And I said, you know what, I'm going to continue doing this, but I need to continue doing it without bringing the energies into my body. And that was my meditation when I sat down. And through that, I went through all these other different amazing experiences, different teachers, and so on. And eventually, I started dreaming with Dr. Naram. And he was believe it or not, you know, I'm Dr. Pankaj Naram, the way that Dr. Clint started all the videos. And it was so often that I decided to search again for him. And then I learned that he passed, and that they were having the 3-year path. And that's how I get involved into the 3-year, learn about the book, grab the book. I got the audiobook, I got the Kindle book, and I started sharing the book. And eventually clicked into my mind that it was Siddha-Veda, right? And for me, it was like, oh my God, what's going on? And then on my first class, I was in the breakout room with Dr. Smith and Krishna, right? And so we get to talk each other. And then I couldn't go to India on the first trip because it was bump after bump after bump after bump. And I said, no, the message is that I shouldn't be in India, although I had my ticket and everything. I canceled the trip. But then I went to see Dr. Smith for another circumstance to Vienna, and we connected there, and we have an experience there, and we get to know each other, and we get to talk about Guru Mai and the experience with Guru Mai themselves, and how Dr. Naram and her were co-students at one point, and so on and so forth. So it's been like on and 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 on. And so now I'm going back in a different way because I start feeling all this different knowledge in a complete different way, you know, and for me, it's like a circle just coming back and closing. And when I was sharing that with my family, it was incredible. And just to give you a note, I have many of this, but just to give you an idea, when I went to India in last year doing my 𝗵𝗲𝗡𝗧𝗦, which is the release of all the toxins and all the stuff, they put me into Dr. Naram's office, where there's a picture of Baba Muktananda and Guru Mai right there, right? You know, and that was when I had my 𝗵𝗲𝗡𝗧𝗦. So it was meditation, walking, doing the release, meditation, walking, doing the release, taking the teas, you know. I mean, it's been an incredible experience so far. And that's why I had a computer, a very powerful MacBook that I didn't get rid of because they were giving me pennies, but they have a huge hard drive. It's very powerful. The only difference is that it's heavy and it's 15 inches, and I've been having it just sitting on my office there, you know, and now she needed, right, to share the information. So like,
all the synchronicity.
Okay. Thank
Holy
you.
cow!
Thank you.
Wow,
Yeah.
Jacob, that's amazing.
Thank
Mary,
you. Thank you.
in the
Wow,
chat, Mary
thank you
says,
so much.
Jacob, you rock, and
Thank you,
Tara
thank
says,
you, thank you.
beautiful. Oh my gosh, so great.
Mm.
Jacob, thank you so much for sharing that.
My
I
honor,
know that it
pleasure.
goes so deep, deeper than words. I can
Yeah.
feel it. Yeah, it's
Thank
amazing.
you, Jacob.
My pleasure. My
Thank you,
pleasure.
Jacob.
My pleasure, Romarishi. My pleasure. My honor, and thank you. Thank you for bringing all this to us.
Wonderful. We do have another story by Cornelia. I've been so excited to be able to hear from her. She's been holding a story that she wants to share about the wonderful masters.
Yeah, it's actually a kind of
Oh,
a
yeah.
story that ties in a little bit to what Romarishi was talking about. That one of the masters, I forgot his name now, didn't want his picture taken. And you have been taking all these pictures with the masters here. And as most of you probably know, I was doing the newsletters all the time in the last, since for 8 months. And while you were in India, Dr. Clint sent me some pictures to put in the newsletter. And so I had prepared the newsletter on the Friday evening and had sent it to him in to kind of look at it, and wanted to know if he needed some changes or some what he had to add or make corrections, whatever. And there was one picture, and you all saw it. It was actually Maharaj blessing Dr. Clint with when he was holding the book. And he sent me a message in the morning on Saturday morning and saying, can you replace that with actually the picture that we saw the very last, where he's on his own. And he said, can you just put it there? And he gave me a little byline that I was supposed to put in the newsletter. So the newsletter was completely done except that change. So I go into constant contact and I wanted to replace that one picture. So I click on replace and I upload the picture to constant contact. And when I clicked insert into where it was supposed to go, there was just nothing coming up. So I had this kind of fleeting thought, oh, maybe he doesn't want to be in the newsletter. So I tried it a second time. When I went into the newsletter, a few more pictures were gone in the newsletter that I had already there. Then I tried it a third time, more pictures disappeared. And I'm kind of thinking, okay, so actually Constant Contact has an issue. So I called Constant Contact and talked to this lady, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. And then she said, she went into the back end and she said, I can see all these pictures. So I was kind of wondering what is going on. So then at one point she said, I sent you what I can see via an email. So it was as if she was sending me the newsletter. I opened it on my computer, no pictures there at all. So she said, can you open it on your phone? So I opened my phone, all the pictures were showing. So I was kind of wondering what is going on. So I thought it's my computer. So, but still no, for me in Constant Contact, no photo was showing. So I tried to get in contact with Carol. And in the meantime, I got a message from Clint saying, if you can get some of the pictures back, send it out and just leave out that last picture that I sent you. And so with Carol's help, we organized that we could send out the newsletter, but for me, it's still none of the pictures showed in my newsletter, even though I had sent it out. I left my computer for a while and then walked out and I said, Clint said, if you cannot get the pictures back, not all of the pictures back, leave this one out. And I was thinking, maybe it has to do with this last picture. So I went back into Constant Contact, deleted that one picture, restarted my computer, went back into Constant Contact, still no pictures there. So I said, okay, that wasn't it. Then I said, yeah, well, but the picture is still on my computer. So I deleted this picture from my computer, restarted my computer, went back into Constant Contact, all the pictures there. So for me, that was really a sign that this Maharaj didn't want that picture going out in the newsletter because it was so powerful. It was, and then I sent a message to Clint and said, did you suspect that this might be the case for my problems? Because you told me if you can just get a few pictures back, but leave this one out. And he said, yes, that's what I suspected. And you just confirmed it with your story. So this is how powerful he is, that he could, from the distance, kind of make very clear that this pictures was not to be in the newsletter, maybe because we wouldn't have gotten the blessing in the sense that he was actually, it's the one where he was blessing you. It wasn't meant for us, but now it's a difference that you are actually talking about it. And so obviously the picture was meant to be shared today and not in the newsletter. I just found it so amazing that
Yes.
how that all unfolded, you know?
Yes.
Thank you, Cornelia.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow, Cornelia. It was really quite the experience. And yes, they were very sensitive to photographs. Yeah. And so that makes a lot of sense. And it definitely was confirmed by your story. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that because it really shows the power of that he didn't want that to happen. So it was very clear. I didn't quite caught, if it had just been this one picture, then I would have probably thought it's, and would have caught on very quickly. But because all the others disappeared, I just thought it had really something to do with Constant Contact and then with my computer. But I learned my lesson, so it was very interesting.
Thank you so much. Shifra, you had your hand up and then you put it down. And when I called on you, you weren't available. Did you have something else you wanted to say?
I just loved the presentation by Romarishi and Tara. I just thought it was very beautiful. And I felt like I really connected to those saints. And I just, you know, I'm interfaith. I love, you know, learning about different, enlightened masters. And, you know, it's just beautiful to have so many different faiths represented. And I'm very grateful to Romarishi and Tara. That was beautiful. I could have listened for hours and hours. It was great. And thank you, Jayna, for, you know, extending it. That was just lovely. And Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you,
I want to
Shipra.
go to
Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Daniel, did you have something you wanted
Thank
to
you.
say?
Jane, I
Shipra.
just want to say thank you for being flexible. I let Romarishi say the story because I could sit here all day long and listen to Romarishi's stories. This is so priceless. These things those stories enchant my heart. It's so instigating. It's so beautiful. It's so, I could sit on a fire and have Romarishi tell these stories all night long.
Yeah.
Thank you so
What a
much.
great idea. Maybe we can make that happen in Ashland. Who knows? How
That'd be
fun.
awesome. What about that on
That would
one
be
of the
great.
celebrations? During a celebration, right?
Yes, he is such a good storyteller. I loved listening to his stories.
Thank you, Romarishi and Tara. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. By
You're
the
very
way,
welcome.
when the gentleman will offer you the computer, I had the same idea. I was gonna speak next. So if there is anything that I can contribute for your book, let me know. I have your number. You have my number, I think. And you can contact me privately if I can contribute.
That
Okay?
is so sweet. Thank you
Oh,
so
yeah.
much, Sivananda. Thank you so much. Well, wonderful. Well, I'm excited.
Actually, we really need two computers, one for Tara and one for me. It'll speed up finishing the book if we have two computers, but I didn't want to mention that because I didn't want to sound greedy. So I only mentioned that we needed one, but really Tara needs one as well as I need one. So
I'll go ahead and give
we
you,
are
I'll make sure that we'll share the contact information so you guys can work out that privately. So thank you so much.
Great.
We're really, really over time. I'm going to stop the Facebook Live and then I'm going to share the song. Let me stop the face. So let's rub our hands together. I love you and I'm with you. You guys want to unmute and say,
I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Thank you, Rose. I love you and I'm with you. And I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Love you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you.
Oh, you guys are so great. I'm so excited to share this MC Yogi. I did not know who MC Yogi was. And when I heard his music, it was wonderful. Robin, are you in a position to be able to share that or do I need to?
Yes, I can do it.
Wonderful. Great. We'll share I think it's the first one that was on there.
Okay.
Does anybody know MC Yogi?
Are you ready?
Yep, this is called Give the Love. This is Gheeta's favorite song by him. And if you'll expand it, thank you so much. And I'm not hearing your computer.
You're not? Hang on. Let me try it again.
Okay. I hope you guys all enjoy this. It's just really fun. He was just so energetic and so full of love.
Can you hear
There
now?
we go. Yeah, I can hear it now.
Dedicated to all spiritual activists, truth seekers, and peaceful warriors worldwide.
I regard myself as a soldier, though a soldier of peace.
Once upon a time, not long ago, there was a boy who would grow and become a great soul. He lived in India, and his name was Gandhi. He believed in human rights, and he fought for equality. He felt so strongly that he trained himself, cause he realized first he'd have to change himself. He changed his clothes and decided to walk. Some days he practiced silence and refused to talk. When he was young, he studied to be a lawyer, and then he became a great spiritual warrior. He read from the scriptures of every religion, came yogi, devoted to service, to spread truth and peace was his purpose. You gotta be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Just like Gandhi. Gandhi dedicated his life to the cause, even when it meant breaking unjust laws. He often faced prison and incarceration, but that only strengthened his determination. He said he would make every sacrifice, but that he would never kill or take a life. He used his heart instead of his fist, and he taught non-violence as the way to resist. A peaceful soldier who used his mind to fight for the rights of humankind, but not just people, animals too. In his basic teaching, God is truth. He joined Muslims, Sikhs, and Hindus, Christians, Buddhists, Jains, and Jews. All the many paths that lead into the light that shines bright inside of me and you. You gotta be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi taught an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, and it takes more strength and faith to be kind. With that in mind, Gandhi took a stand against the foreign occupation of his land. When things got violent, Gandhi would fast, not eating for days until the riots would pass. But the biggest event that made the British halt is when Gandhi decided to harvest salt. The British Empire installed a salt tax, and stealing salt was an unlawful act. So Gandhi and his peeps took to the streets, 10,000 deep, they marched to the beach. But when they arrived, they were beaten with clubs, but they didn't fight back, instead they chose love. The foreign military realized they were wrong and eventually decided to go back home. You see, Gandhi G was a very great leader, but before all that, he was shy and meager. As a young child, he was just like you and me, before he became Mahatma Gandhi. The word Mahatma, it means great soul, and it's inside of us, just waiting to unfold. If you follow your heart and act real bold, next time it'll be your story that's told. You gotta be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, the change, just like Gandhi. Be the change that you wanna see in the world, just like Gandhi.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful call. Thank you so much. We're really, really late. Do you guys still want to do breakout rooms? There's only about 40 people here. I think we'll end the call where it is. Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I love you and I'm with you. And we'll see you next week.